Hello everyone, my name is Griffin and we are back with another reaction video. This time we are reacting to Gawr Gura attacked by jealous VTubers. Apparently again. I didn't know she was being attacked for anything. I mean, I obviously understand people are jealous of her because she's successful, but I didn't know she was being attacked at all by other VTubers. I mean, quite honestly, the VTuber community isn't really the best. It can be quite toxic. But let's see what's going on with Gura.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we're going to go over another round of Twitter users attempting to attack Hololive's Gawr Gura for a recent post that she made. Since her debut in 2020, there has been a routine bout of antis attacking her and her management over various posts and things that she has done during her career. And all throughout all of that time, we have tracked some of these weirdos and used them for free content and free laughs on this channel. And that's exactly what we're going to do today based on some of the outrage stemming from a recent post that she made. Now, what is that recent post? Well, it has to do with this collab between Hololive and Honeyworks. This is a very big music collab. They have a full album featuring many of the Hololive members in that album. You can see a little teaser here with some of the tracks. This is on YouTube. I'll put a link to it in the description if you want to check it out before you consider purchasing the album. It's a banger as expected between a collab like this. And seemingly as a part of this ongoing collab that's been taking place the last couple of months, Gawr Gura made this post. And part of this
Gawr Gura, an elementary school-age genius who skipped grades and is now enrolled in Honey Gauka. I don't know if I pronounced that last part right. High school. She spends every day being doted on like a little sister by all the older girls around her, including school idols Usada Pecora. Pecora, she's just chaos. And Hosho Marin. She can be very, very ecchi. she's also crazy. Sometimes finds herself reminiscing about her hometown where she lived before enrolling at Hollow Honey.
Post describes her character in this collab setting as an elementary school aged genius who skipped grades and is now enrolled in high school. And a lot of people on Twitter have been taking this description as a literal reflection of the person behind Gawr Gura, and also have used this as some confirmation in their minds of official lore.
I mean, hasn't her like real age and face already been, shown? At least as far as I'm aware, I think she's done a face reveal in a picture. But it's known she's over 18 years old. Why would people take that description of an elementary school age genius seriously? I mean, do people not realize? It's amazing that there are a lot of people who don't realize that this is just for the Hollow Honey high school thing. I mean, why would you take it seriously as, at her actual age or actual lore? It's so fucking stupid.
Based on her character, which are all just insanely wrong assumptions to be made. And some of the outrage has involved not only users on Twitter, but also supposed Hololive fans, as well as fellow VTubers. It has been a tourist fiesta on Twitter. We're going to start with this VTuber right here saying, "And just like that, I hate Hololive." This person must have been watching Hololive with their eyes closed for the last couple of years, because a post like this is about as Hololive as it gets. This is something you would expect out of...
I think this is so... I mean, for how they depicted her character in here, I think she's adorable. I like the sailor outfit. It goes well with her character and the description for her character in this. It looks adorable. It's cute. But it's amazing that people react this way just from a description for, a collab work that they're doing. Like, what the hell?
Of Hololive. And even if you're taking this description of Gawr Gura's character in this setting and thinking something really outrageous about it, that still wouldn't shock the conscience of Hololive, its VTubers, and its fans, because there is a huge amount of lolicons and shotacons in Hololive.
I mean, for me, I like Hololive. I think they're all funny. Personally, my favorite. I actually have two favorites, although one of them is a little more of a favorite over the other. But my two favorites are Gawr Gura and Mori Calliope. I like Gouda a little more because I think she's just a goofball with gremlin energy and she's just funny. But yeah, I like Hololive. I think it's great.
Alive. So if this post or anything about Gawr Gura in the situation surprises you, you're a tourist. And moving on, here's another VTuber saying, okay, I loosely follow corpo VTubers, but elementary school aged. Doesn't she do sexual content or encourage it? Cause what the F?
For those who don't know, as far as I'm aware, no, Gouda doesn't do sexual content. As far as I've seen, or as far as I've heard, she doesn't do sexual content. Even in character or out of character, I can't see Gouda doing that.
So there's multiple layers of things wrong here. Starting off, does she do sexual content? I think a quick Google search or a check of her YouTube channel would immediately give you the answer, and that is no. She does not do sexual content unless you're like some Amish person who just discovered the internet a few days ago or something. But
the only kind of thing that would relate to that is just look up R34. If it's on the internet, there's porn about it.
Does she encourage it? The closest thing you could go to is retweeting art of herself that is sometime etchy, but that kind of lumps into this last part and this last question. The art that she has historically retweeted is not based on this post or art of this post. It's based on art of her VTuber model, which also is a lolly, by the way, but is not based on this character design and this character description. This
I'd say her character, I don't, unless it's in this setting, I don't think her character is a lolly. Her character falls more in line as a petite woman, like Tatsumaki, our terrible tornado from One Punch Man. You know, just short, petite girl. Lolly is those who look like children. That's lolly. I can't think. I can think of probably one anime character, and that's from Strike the Blood, where the main character's professor is an eternal lolly. But Gouda's, I think her is towing the line between lolly and just a petite woman like Tatsumaki.
This is not her lore. This is just for this event. It's very confusing that all these people are believing this to be her lore. And here's another VTuber saying, I always knew this was pretty obvious. This is why I don't follow or watch. I hate what this sort of thing has done for more VTubers, especially just petite VTubers that are of age. But this sort of thing makes me extremely uncomfortable. Now, this whole claim here is basically victim shaming Gawr Gura because over and over again, we've seen over the years, Gawr Gura, based on her petite model, her official one, not this, she has been routinely called a child model or pedo bait and things like that because she has a petite VTuber model. And now you're trying to blame her for things that a bunch of aunties on Twitter have been saying about anyone who has a petite.
This is why a lot of people find the VTubing space really toxic, because there are people like this and the previous one who, like, yeah, they're victim shaming and whatnot, and they're making up things in their own head, trying to just. I don't know what people have against, you know, petite of age models. I mean, you know, create whatever model you want. I mean, there are models that look lowly, but I'd say the closest thing you're probably going to get to that is Chibi Doki, but she's chibi. that's different. That's probably the closest you're ever going to get to a lolly VTuber. But like I said, her character model is a chibi. But it's people take a lot of this stuff way too seriously, and it's disturbing.
Model, because it doesn't matter on Twitter what your age of your VTuber model is. If it's petite, people are likely going to call it pedo bait and things like that. So to blame Gawr Gura for that is outrageous. But also, I just hate the fact that posts like this say, oh, this makes me so uncomfortable, extremely uncomfortable, as you quote retweet the post and the person that's making you extremely uncomfortable, and then locking the replies so no one can even talk to you.
Yeah, that's another thing I find funny. I find it hilarious that there are a lot of people, and there are some VTubers who do stuff like this, and then they lock the comments. And it's the same thing on TikTok as well, and on YouTube. They make posts or videos or something like this, then they lock the comments because they don't want to be corrected. They don't want to be criticized or anything. They don't want any opposing opinion or fact against their post because they believe they're right and they believe everybody else is wrong. Excuse me. And it's really upsetting to find that people who see petite who see that there are creators who have a VTube model that are petite and small, that who are of age, and they find it like pedo bait or whatever, and it's just like, what goes through your mind to think that? Why do you what goes through your mind to think that they're pedo baiting? They're pedophiles. They have a character. They're a VTuber. Leave them alone. If their model makes you uncomfortable, there's this amazing thing that you can do. It's called closing the window. Moving on. Don't just complain about it. If you don't like the model, if you don't like the way the model is, if you don't like any of it, click off of it. It's just that easy. I know it's new to you people who act like children like this, but you can do that.
About this, it's basically like, who is this post made for? If this truly made you extremely uncomfortable, you would just block and move on. You wouldn't make a post trying to garner reaction from your community or other Twitter users. And it's just very odd. And again, also, like, what makes you feel extremely uncomfortable about this post in and of itself? If you have a problem with Gawr Gura and the types of things she does regularly in other posts and in her content generally, go ahead and say something about that. But this post in particular is completely innocent. There's nothing sexual about this post whatsoever. But here's another VTuber saying, elementary school age, Miss Ma'am, you're pedo bait. Where people in the replies would say this, your likes are public. That sound familiar?
I can still like the quote. There's another thing like this. If you want to complain to somebody about, stuff like this when it comes to, corporate VTubers, why are you complaining at the VTuber themselves? I mean, it's part of their contract for them to do collabs and stuff like this. Why are you complaining at the individual? Gura here hasn't done anything wrong. She's doing what's within her contract and she's having fun with it. But this isn't baiting in any way. It's, they're doing a character for a collab.
And it shows that this VTuber liked the post that she's calling pedo bait, where she then replies saying, I can still like the post. I didn't say I didn't like Gura, so, and then this user says, so you're just a grifter, and ratioing them pretty hard. Now I have to say, well done to my community. The tool that I provided you guys, the your likes are public mechanism, you guys are using it very well. Very proud. But in this case, it proves either two things: either this VTuber is being completely disingenuous and calling her pedo bait just for clout, or she's calling Gawr Gura pedo bait and then remaining a fan of hers. What are you trying to tell us if that's the case?
The hypocrisy is strong with this one.
And that goes to more self-reports or possible.
The amount of NSFW I see of Gura just to put her in elementary school is something. Now there are people who do this, who take Gura's model just because it's small and petite, and genuinely do NSFW art of this stuff, and those kind of people are creepy.
Self-reports like this one from a pre-debut saying, the amount of not safe for work I see of Gura just to put her in elementary school is something. So what you're saying is you've seen a lot of not safe for work of Gawr Gura before this post, where her character was also a lolly. I don't know, guys. It's absolutely crazy what people say on Twitter. Here's another one saying, how are you people finding out just now that Gura is a lolly made by a lolicon? It's literally so effing obvious. I don't know where people are getting this shocked realization of what is acceptable. And
you know, if you're gonna call Gura a lolly, then you're gonna have to call ones like Pekora a lolly as well, because she's just as petite. And she's basically the same size as Gura. Why don't you call more people in the Hololive lollies and, you know, have just same amount of energy as the other ones that are in this Hollow Honey Gauka or Goka. I'm just gonna call it Hollow Honey. And, you know, why are you just only attacking Gura? I mean, I don't know if the others are getting attacked the same way, but why is it mainly Gura that's being attacked? Why aren't you attacking the others that are just as small and petite as Gura is? I don't get it.
And just found commonplace in places like Hololive and its fan base. I don't know where these people have been and what they've been watching, but here's one person mentioned that definitely knows how long Gawr Gura has been a part of the organization and the fact that she has a lolly character. This quote retweet says, oh, this is going to get Venti and her goons mad. And of course, that is referring to the most dedicated Gawr Gura hater, Brittany Venti, who for nearly 4 full years has been attacking Gawr Gura, calling her all sorts of terrible things, claiming that she's a man behind the model, that she's a child behind the model, calling her pedo bait, calling her fans pedophiles. She's been doing this since 2020. You can see some of the gems like this one that are almost meme worthy.
Oh, she's been doing this since 2020? Is that when Gura started? Yeah, it's been 4 years already. Wow. Time really flies.
And she, of course, made the infamous Predator Problem video where she was talking about Gawr Gura and her community and Hololive as a whole, which is one of the most disliked, bombed videos you'll ever see. And recently, a couple weeks ago, she returned to make this absolute stinker. She made the head of consent. Basically, you have to be a certain number of heads tall to be not considered a child, which, of course, as people pointed out in some pictures, she failed herself. But here also, she would lash out at Gawr Gura.
Extreme notes equals fake news that is trying to help. Well, let's see. Let's start at the bottom here. Readers added context that they thought people might want to know. Community notes is not fake news, but the community on X adding context, fact checking, false. Gura also isn't using a child avatar or promoting herself as a child. She is an adult woman and a so-called VTuber. Cover: the company that made Gawr Gura literally tried to copy strike my YouTube video because they were triggered that I called out. Well, they tried to strike it down because you're spreading, you know, false information. Fake news. I was trying to help predators. Twitter, clarify this one more time. Enough of the you hate petite women fake narrative. I never said the voice actress for Gura was underage. I said, you're you know, this venti person is probably like trying to talk to a brick wall that is just brain dead as fuck.
Again about 2 weeks ago, making all sorts of ridiculous claims and getting community noted multiple times on the same post and getting almost ratioed by the quote retweets making fun of her. This was something I covered in a video from 2 weeks ago. If you want a full rundown of that situation, I'll put a link to it in the description. It's definitely worth checking out. It's a very funny video. But here we move on to more of the expected comments. This user saying, Mr. Hansen, I can explain. She's actually 9,000 years old. Where, of course, I will remind people who constantly keep lumping in Chris Hansen and telling people that they're going to report lolicon to him. He has publicly stated this. Please stop sending me links to cartoon porn. I find it distasteful, but it's not relevant to my work. Please stop wasting the resources of people like him or law enforcement over stuff that's inactionable and you just have a moral disgust of. And if it's just a joke, I don't think that's a very funny joke to insinuate about someone who's just minding their own business. But moving forward, here's another one saying, I love this and it's really funny. They claim to say she will be a genius, but we know she struggles at basic math. Now that is the most slanderous thing I have seen in this entire set of threads. Okay, it's definitely true.
What's 5 times 5?
Okay, it is. I will say it is kind of funny how she sometimes struggles with math. She can be quite airheaded, but it's part of her charm. She's just funny and adorable.
See, I know what 5 times 5 is, because 5 times 5 is 35. Because it rhymes, sort of. That's the only way I know it. That's the only way I know how to do 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 35. Yeah, well, wait, 5 times 5 is what? 5 times 5 is 35!
She's such a
Please
goober.
tell me 5 times 5 is 35. 5 times 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 20.
So here's the next one going.
Oh, I love Gura. She is something else.
I'm confused. We're just ignoring an adult role-playing an elementary child. I kind of knew she might have been underage, but elementary age? Am I missing something? Again, it's another person mixing up this promotional post with official lore and her official character.
People really do need to learn to differentiate a promotional piece from actual lore of a character that's made by either the indie VTuber or the corporate VTuber. They because you can obviously tell that this is a promotional piece by it saying Hollow Honey High School and not actual lore. And you know, you got other VTubers here, Pecora, Marin, and I forget. I don't know who this other one is. I'm sorry. I really don't. She looks familiar, but I can't remember her name. But yeah, it's even says Hololive Honeyworks. I mean, you obviously need to be able to tell that this is a promotional piece for a collab thing that they're doing.
But also, I find this concept pretty weird. I'm going to ask you guys, like, what you think. But it seems like people are attacking this post, like, not even the fact that it has, you know, it's not sexual, right? Even posts like this, they're not implying it's a sexual post or anything like that. They're just saying it's weird that an adult is voicing a young character. Like, have they not seen adult voice actors voice young characters in cartoons and anime? Do you think they're weird? Do you have this same energy for them? Because at the end of the day, if you take a very extended look at what VTubing is, it's very close to voice acting, especially when you're a corporate VTuber. You're playing a character. Of course, your real personality is the foundation of a lot of it, but you are voicing a character. So do you have this normal level of intensity for other voice actors who are voicing young characters and just doing their job? I don't know. It just seems like a very odd parallel to draw here. But also, you know, the usual slander like this. And I will remind anyone watching this video that posts like this are something that Hololive and Cover Corp are actively.
I'm not sure if it's more sad that this. I think it's actually more sad that this doesn't actually really surprise me, of how many people who believe that Gura's character is pedophilic. I find it more sad that I don't find it surprising. I don't know what to tell you. It's it's really horrible. I honestly feel bad. I don't know how much of this Gura actually sees. I don't know if it affects her or not. I hope it doesn't, because she's a wonderful person. But I hope it doesn't affect her or anything. It's just, you gotta feel bad for a lot of these corporate VTubers who haven't really done anything, and then they get this amount of heat from so many people who take this stuff way too fucking seriously and don't, you know, learn to think logically. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that there are creeps out there who, you know, do what they do, but the amount of people, especially in the VTubing space, who are so toxic about this stuff. I mean, I'm a VTuber myself. I stream as a VTuber over on Twitch. I'm the new character I'm getting that I commissioned is the sketch and coloring and everything is almost done. So hopefully soon it'll be rigged. And I might start using that for reactions, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's sad at how toxic people are. And a lot of them are more toxic towards these corporate VTubers as well. I mean, I get people don't like corporations, you know, and everything, but it's just, I feel bad for Gura.
Looking at and keeping track of, and sometimes taking action against. So just putting that out there. But also, just overall, I mean, this is supposed to be like a fun event. This is something that nobody except for a bunch of people screeching on Western Twitter have an issue with. But again, that's to be expected. And whenever they do stuff like this to Gawr Gura or other VTubers, artists, and the like, we're here to poke at them and make fun of them and, yeah, get content out of people acting like maniacs on Twitter. But as per usual, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you next time.
What's up, everyone?
Yeah. Well, that was that video. It was a good video. Revuwu. it's a funny name. But you gotta really feel bad for Gura. I mean, she hasn't done anything to catch all this heat from all these dumb fucks who believe that her character is pedophilic and what they're doing is pedophilic. I mean, I don't get the logic behind it. And people are... It's like people are banging their head against the wall so much that they've lost all their brain cells, and then they come and comment. Well, that was this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to know what y'all think of the VTubing space and what's going on with Gura. Yeah. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm not really sure what else to say. Please sub, I guess. I'm trying a different way of saying goodbye. I don't want to constantly keep saying go check out my Twitch and all that other stuff. Because you guys get the idea by now at over 150 videos. I mean, I think you get the idea at this point. But I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe, I guess. I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.